Welcome to the Racing Nuggets podcast. I'm PJ Noodleman, joined by my co-host, Mr. Dan Plan. Hello, Daniel.
Hello, everybody.
Excited to chat with this guy tonight. He's taken over the reins and he has a lot of experience. I don't think a lot of people realize just how much experience Austin Wells has. Welcome to the Racing Nuggets podcast, Austin.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Love having you on here. I got to tell you, somebody told me that you were going to be really shy. And then when I called you, you were like, heck yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Well, you took over Crosse Speedway after Chuck Deery has retired, but this is not the first time that you've been involved in tracks, right? Tell everybody a little bit about your background.
Well, it all started from birth, like a lot of people in racing these days. They were born into it. So same story goes for me. Both my parents, when I was born, were working at Madison International Speedway. My dad was announcing up in the tower, and my mom was working in the office at the time. And soon after, my car seat carrier was in the office, and I was at the track. And pretty much ever since then, I've been at a racetrack doing something of some form. Madison, I would stock the concessions. I would be stocking soda, all that type of stuff during the week. My mom was working there full-time during the week for a couple of years, so I was always there in the summer. School was out, needed something to do, the track it was. So I learned to drive a golf cart there. A lot of stuff happened at the track within those younger years of my life, so it just kind of kept going.
That's pretty cool then. So you really started out at the ground level.
Yeah, pretty much.
And here you are now managing Crosse Speedway.
Yeah, it's quite the story.
Now, you had a lot to do at Madison. I mean, you kind of kept graduating to a little bit different level of responsibilities and things, but you also did an awful lot at Angel Park too, didn't you?
Yeah, it was only for a year, but we got a lot done in a year there. So it was just kind of, hey, we got the lease on Angel Park, which we didn't think we were going to get. And then all of a sudden the text message came through and it's like, wow, this is happening. And we weren't expecting it to happen. And it was very last minute. And Greg was just kind of like, this is going to be for you. So he sent me over there and we just got it done. Took a lot to get it started, but once the machine was started, we were able to go and have events and be successful over there.
So you've done a lot of the different things at the Speedway. Is there something that is your favorite part of the job?
It's just being at the track is one of the best parts of it. A summer day like today, you're outside the whole day working. I mean, obviously, there's office work to be done too, but just being outside, enjoying the day, everything is enjoyable about it, stocking concessions or getting cars to run, moving cars to get ready for the Smash-O-Rama. We were doing that today. Just all the different facets of the track. I love it.
Nice.
In addition to working at Madison, Crosse, and Angel Park, have you worked at any other tracks or helped out with other series or anything throughout your career?
I've done the timing and scoring for the now ASA Midwest Tour. So I started doing that after Greg purchased I was doing it a little bit beforehand too. But after Greg purchased the tour, I was doing the timing and scoring for that. So setting up the timing system, scoring the races, calculating the points after the races. But I did score a couple of those. I think it was ASA Midwest Tour at the time or ARCA Midwest Tour. I'm a little confused by it. The names kind of go back and forth, but the Milwaukee Mile, I was scoring a couple of those races. I was still in high school, 2013 and 2014. I was scoring those races. So we were getting a lot done early with the tour. And then I've helped at Rockford Speedway a little bit. When they first got the transponder system, I helped get all that stuff together, helped train a bunch of people to use it. So Rick Beckmeyer, who's down there, I trained him how to use the transponder system. He's been doing a great job with it. We did the Bahama brackets down there, so I kind of helped the timing and scoring with that. Obviously, the Bahama brackets, there's a lot going on in the timing department. It used to be the old eyes that we would use on the track. So, there used to be 2 eyes and you'd have to track each car as they went around the track. But obviously transponders changed that because you're picking up times every lap. So you got to make sure those cars don't break out and track each time for each car. So it's a lot of work. So we developed a process for that and made it so it was easy to do and it worked. So
cool.
You're definitely the right man for the job. You really are with your background.
And just trying to do what I can. So I like working at different places. So hopping around really wherever I can work, I like doing something. So,
and even though Chuck's retired. I'm guessing he's still around because I actually got a call from him last week and he said Chuck Deery from Crosse Speedway. So I'm guessing he's still working behind the scenes.
Yeah, he comes in about a couple hours every week, just gets some of the back end stuff done, like the book work and that type of thing. So he's still involved, not as much as he used to be, but he's always a phone call away if he's not here. So it's always nice to have that you know that. So you can always call Greg McCarnes or Chuck Deery. There's also many other resources out there that you can call to if anything should happen or need any information on other things.
Well, Greg and Chuck are pranksters.
Oh yeah.
What are some of the things that they've done to you over the years?
The classic is, you're drinking a 12-ounce can of Busch Light at a bar, and the can of Busch Light is prone to be pierced with a knife. So the old deal is, you're right under where you're taking a drink, they'd slit a hole, and then you'd go to take a drink and it'd be all over your shirt. So that's been a couple of the classic ones. Sometimes it happens more than once when you should be expecting it, but sometimes you get a couple of those cold ones and it's easy for stuff like that to happen.
Have you ever raced, Austin?
I practiced a 6-shooter at Madison the first night we had them, and that's all I did. I just ran it like 2 laps to see if it would blow up. And that's it. That's all I've done.
Any interest in it?
No, not really. Just
cool.
The other end of it. I don't know. I like watching it. I like everything else about it, but I don't know. Just not the racing. It's not
you're the production side of things.
Yep.
Now, by the time this podcast airs, which will be next Tuesday, the 13th of June, you will have had your 3rd night of action in at La Crosse. And this coming Saturday is going to be a big night. You guys got like an extra wad of cash to give to the late model for winner. And that's a pretty cool deal. It's $1,000. And you're always going to have your negative sources like, well, they should have been doing this the whole time. It's like, yeah. But you got to take steps. And this is kind of a special deal. Tell everybody a little bit about how that came together and what the whole impetus behind it was.
Yeah. So we have a local sponsor. Just he wanted to be involved and he wanted to put money towards the purse for the late models. And this event on Saturday just turned out to be the right event for that. So he put money towards it and we just made it work from there. He wants to remain anonymous. So we're respecting that. And he just wants to see some racing and a little extra money towards it. So that's what's happening this Saturday night.
I think one of the best things about La Crosse is the car count for the late models. I think it has been quite healthy for a number of years. Again, you're going to have your negative people are like, well, it used to be a lot more. We used to run a C feature. It's like, yeah, okay. But this is still pretty healthy. I mean, you're averaging right around 18-22 a night. That's pretty dang good.
Yeah, nothing to complain about that. It's definitely a great show every week. Obviously, 4 different winners so far this season. So we got nothing to complain about. So
yeah,
got a good thing going.
My favorite thing about La Crosse is the efficiency of the program. I can't praise you enough and Chuck in the past for how efficient those shows go. I mean, that Saturday afternoon opener, I went in the pits after the races and was still in my car and on my way home by 4:30.
Yeah, but that's always our goal. I mean, we want those people going down into the pits afterwards, and a lot of that is to thank from Chuck. He ran a tight ship, and he trained the people the way they should have been trained. So Jeff Garber is the best race director around. He's the one responsible for that time schedule, and he runs it to a T, and it's fantastic. It just helps everything move along for the racers, the fans, everyone involved with it. So,
and the safety crew. I mean, the safety crew is pretty lickety split to get things cleaned
up. Yeah, we got plenty of vehicles now for the safety teams. They got a lot of resources to work with. So we should be set up. We had a trailer race fire a couple years ago, and after that, we kind of stepped up our game, bought a couple more fire truck type deals, and just to have in our back pocket. We don't want to use them, but if we need them, we got them. And that's always nice to know, just in the back of your head. I mean, we pulled one out this past Saturday night. Luckily we didn't need it, but it was there. So that's always
you drove that one, didn't you?
I did. I just got done standing next to you up top, and then I looked over. I'm like, well, that's not good. And then right down I went.
Wow.
Whoever told you Austin was going to be shy and quiet, I think pulled a prank on you.
I think so too. You're a
I don't
good
know who would have said
talker.
that. Yeah.
That
You're a
sounds
really
like a
great
that
talker.
sounds like a Deary McCarnes type prank, I think there.
Yeah. You're probably right there.
Well, and I was so nervous. I meant to call you on Monday and I got busy at work and I work late. And then I was like, oh crap, now it's too late. And I don't have your cell phone. I just had the Speedway number. And then it occurred to me again late on Tuesday. I thought I'm just going to give her a try, let her buck. And you answered. And I was like, that's great. And you were like, yeah, sure, whatever. And I was like,
If,
okay.
if you would have called me 2 minutes later, I would have been out of here. So perfect timing.
I'm glad I got you then. So Austin, I know that you obviously have a lot of input from Chuck and probably Greg McCarnes as well too. But are there things, ideas that you're hoping to implement as you start on this journey?
Yeah, there's definitely ideas. Not a lot of it's probably going to happen this year. I just want to be more familiar with my surroundings, the processes, everything like that. Obviously, learning as I go at this facility because I'm rather new to it. So I just want to take notes in my mind and just as we go through this year, we can make changes for next year. But nothing drastic right away, but definitely there'll be changes, but not this year. So it's something to come.
Yeah. You actually had to fill a lot of different shoes too this year. I mean, track announcer, tech official, and is Jeff Garber still working or did he also retire?
Jeff Garbers is still working.
Okay, I did not. I should have poked my head down in there to say hi to him. But
Well, he wasn't there this past Saturday. He had
Oh,
a party,
okay.
so Drew was our race director that night. So
Okay. Well, still, you had a lot of shoes to fill. That had to be a little stressful.
yeah, the announcer thing was rather stressful. I put out a job application on the internet. I received 3 applications, 2 of which were from Milwaukee, and the other one was from Chicago. So, okay, well, we can try to make this work. So we met with the one guy and things were looking good. Then about 2 weeks before the season, he was like, yeah, I can't do it anymore. I'm like, okay, back to square one. So Connor, who's our current track announcer, he expressed interest and called him up. He was all excited to do it. So he showed up practice day and I'm like, we're going to give you a shot. So May 20th, I had my father up here who's been announcing at Madison since I was born. So I had him up here and my dad's been coming up here for all the events for this year. And he's been absolutely loving it. So him and Connor have been tag teaming and Connor's learning the ropes rather quick and he's doing a great job. So we're very happy to have him on the team here. It's definitely a great person to have in that role.
Yeah, he's got a real good energy and I think his voice cuts through really good too. I mean, not just anybody can do track announcing. You really got to have a voice that can kind of cut through the race cars so that people can hear it too.
Oh,
so
most definitely. So yeah, he's been great to have. So for not really having much announcing experience, he knows the racing side of it, but the announcing side, not so much. He's picking it up really quick and couldn't be any happier about it. So
cool. You're getting to know the drivers too.
I try. Obviously, on a race day, there's a lot going on. We're trying to get stuff going on the hill. We got a lot of new people in different roles, such as, the box office or the concessions or hospitality areas. So I try to make it to the pits as much as I can, but sometimes it's so tough with everything going on up here. I do my best to get down there. So.
Well, I can pretty much guarantee the Holzhausens will be there till much later.
Oh, they usually are.
Is Tommy White still flipping burgers in the pits, or was that just opening weekend?
That was a one-time deal. We'll see if he tries to come up again, but he's the old burger master at Angel Park Speedway in the pits. Tommy's pit side grill even got a sign up down there. So
nice.
Wow.
He's loving it.
Good stuff. Very good stuff. So what do you think is going to be your biggest challenge here in your first year? I mean, you already got a few nights under your belt. What has been the biggest challenge for you?
The biggest challenge will be something I don't know how to handle. So it's going to happen. Just something I haven't been the guy behind or something that a decision has to be made. And that's obviously where the resources behind me, Chuck, Greg, other individuals, having those resources will help to make the right decision on whatever it will be. It's going to happen. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the nature of the beast. So I got resources to help with it. So I'm going to rely on them because I don't know how to handle them. So there's obviously I can handle certain things, but certain things I haven't been through before. So I want to use those resources as best I can.
I think it's great that you have both Greg and Chuck to lean on when you need. And the fact that Chuck is still local, so that if you really
Oh,
needed
yeah.
to, he could hop over real quick to help. I'm kind of looking forward, if I'm going to be honest, to seeing Chuck Deery kind of in relax mode, if
Did
that's
you
possible.
did
If
you say
that's
Chuck was
possible.
did you say Chuck was local or loco?
Yeah,
Both.
yeah, he's been pretty busy the past couple months. He's been doing the Rockford Speedway online store and just all the stuff going on down there. So his plate's still been full, just with other
Yeah.
things. So
Well, he told me he was going to become a Walmart greeter. That didn't pan out, I guess.
there's always still time. One of our other employees is a Walmart greeter, and every time he drops off an application for Chuck to do that job. So maybe someday.
Awesome. That is awesome. Are you planning to debut any new divisions at all this season?
Nothing this season. I think right now we got what's going for us, so we're going to stick with it. So
Yeah.
further down the road, if we need to go down that road, we will. So we always wanted to do an SUV type class, just we're not sure on the best way to execute it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's something we're just kind of waiting to see if anyone else does a class like that and how we can implement that here.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we got our minivans, so
Right. Right. Yeah. That one's wild to watch.
I love those things.
Are you as a group or as yourself looking at that sportsman division to try to tweak that somehow to help get that car count back where it belongs? Or what is the thought process on that particular division?
Well, obviously having it the way it is now opens up to a lot more different cars. So it's hard to say where we should go with it. We're going to stick with it for now and see if we can get a few more cars down the road. If we need to change something, definitely we will. But it's a different style of racing, obviously, and we
It
know
really
that.
is. Yeah.
So it's just something we're trying, because before we weren't getting a crazy amount of sportsmen. So just trying to open it up to see if we can get a few
Yeah.
more other cars. So I got a couple calls already that we got a couple more cars coming from Minnesota for that class. So
Well, that's good.
we'll see how it goes this week. So
Yeah.
time will tell. Time
Yeah.
will tell.
Well, and just for me personally, and I'm not saying I'm an expert by any means, but it's a little hard to follow the breakout as a fan.
Yep.
If I didn't have my scanner on, I wouldn't know that somebody was breaking out, strike one, strike two.
It's almost easier just to watch it as if there's no breakouts. And if they
Yeah.
actually do break out, then they're black flags. So
And then they have to get out.
Every time we have the announcer call the race, we just tell them don't focus on the breakouts unless they actually do break out, because
Okay.
otherwise it's too hard to call a race like that. Okay,
It
well,
is,
that guy
yeah.
has one breakout, so we don't
Yeah.
need to worry about him unless he breaks out again. So we just call the race as normal. So
Yeah. It's a different class, that's for sure. And I applaud you guys for trying to do things. And I think that's sometimes it's a double-edged sword. You get naysayers that want to complain about it and don't
For
want to
sure.
give it a chance. But at the same time, you might come up with something that maybe needs just one or two little tweaks, and all of a sudden you got a dang successful product. So
I
think-
do have to say, I think it was probably 2 years ago at Oktoberfest when they had, like 24 cars for the Thursday night feature. And I think back then you couldn't break out on the last lap, which I think now you can break out. But it looked like Talladega, right? They ran 24 laps side by side. And then the last lap, just all hell broke loose. They were just three wide everywhere and just bananas. So when it works, it works.
Yep, it double-edged sword, like you said.
Yeah. I don't envy you. I think there's a lot of armchair promoters that think it's a really easy job, but it's not. You got a lot of people barking at you.
Yep.
You got a lot of sponsors that you're trying to keep happy. You have responsibilities to stay within budget for things. I mean, there's a lot that people don't realize you have to do as a promoter. So I applaud you for doing it all and balancing it.
It's a balancing act.
Yeah. Did you have to move then up here to La Crosse, or were you already up here?
I started going to school at UWL in 2019. So pretty much I moved up here in 2019. And then I lived downtown La Crosse in 2020 through the pandemic. And then March of 2021, I moved into a place here in West Salem, and I've been here ever since. So,
Okay.
and I couldn't be any happier. I absolutely love the community and just love being part of the community and all the activities and events going on. So I absolutely love it.
It is a pretty cool place to live. That's for sure. That's for sure. Dan, do you have other questions you want to ask yet?
Not offhand. No, I can't think of any right now.
Okay. I have one final, and that is, what are we going to see at Oktoberfest of you? Are you going to be running around like crazy, or how's that all going to work?
I'm not really quite sure yet. I haven't put much thought into that. I really like the past couple of years I've been running all over doing all sorts of different stuff. And I really like doing that. That's just something I like doing, is problem solving and just finding where the issues are and fixing those issues. So that's something I like to do. This year, that'll probably change. So I'm just gonna have to evolve with it and roll with it and make it work. So
Yeah.
I remember seeing Greg emptying garbage cans in the camper village at like 7 a.m. So he'll probably have you do that now.
yeah, when the garbage truck is here and you're paying them a lot an hour to be here, you got to make sure someone's with them dumping those barrels. It's not a glorious job. The garbage man knows all, just to let you know.
Yep.
But dumping those barrels is you got to throw away the clothes when you're done dumping barrels, especially at Oktoberfest.
Oh, no kidding. No kidding. So what do you do to relax, Austin? What is it for your downtime?
I haven't really figured that out quite yet. I mean, we went camping once or twice a couple of years ago, but I don't know, otherwise just sitting at home and watching a movie at the end of a nice long day, just enjoying the air conditioning. But otherwise, I haven't really. The winter time is kind of our relaxation time. The summer is just go, go, go. It's hard to find time to relax like that.
What do you do in the wintertime? Do you snowmobile or anything like that?
No, just kind of lay low. We go to Daytona. We do a bunch of racers auctions. So we do one in Cedar Rapids. We did one in West Bend this past year. So that takes up a bunch of time, just planning through all that, getting exhibitors. So it keeps you busy during the off season. So that's nice.
Who were some of your racing heroes when you were growing up?
Matt Kenseth was always one of them. So I always got the autograph cards because he was at Madison and Roy was there for a little bit. So I'd always get the autograph cards, the hats, all that type of stuff. And he was my favorite. So
are you like a lot of us too, a pack rat, and you hang on to all the stuff over the years?
Yeah, I think that stuff's still my parents' house. So yeah.
Love it. I love it. I bet your parents are super proud of you.
Yeah, they've been coming up every week to help. My dad's been helping announce, as I said, and my mom's just been helping fill the holes wherever it is. So, sometimes she's been helping in hospitality for some of the parties we've had. She's helped sell beer in the box office or stocking condiments. It's anything, and it's really nice to have them here because they're just your back pocket people that you can rely on and help with anything because they've been doing it for a while, so they can handle any part of it. So it's nice to know that and have them here.
Do you have siblings?
I have one sister who is older than me.
So. Okay. No interest in racing from her?
No, she worked at the track in Madison for a little bit.
Okay.
So in concessions, and after that, now she's a nurse. So.
Oh, wow. Back to you, Dan.
Working at multiple tracks is something that jumped out to me, and I put Tommy's picture and Sharon Johnson's picture in this latest issue because I saw Tom flipping the burgers opening weekend, and then at Cedar Lake for their bus race, I saw Sharon up there selling tickets, and I started thinking about it. A lot of these people do go around, and I think Scott and all works at every single track in Wisconsin or throughout the United States. So everybody seems to jump in when they can and help out, which is a really neat part of short track racing.
Most definitely. And like this weekend, Sunday night, we're headed to Angel Park. I'm taking a crew of a couple guys that work for us, and we're going down there to help because a bunch of the Angel Park employees have graduation that day. So they can't work. So we're taking a carload down, and we're going to help too. But the most enjoying thing for me to do at a racetrack when you don't have to worry about anything else is sit there and flip burgers or make popcorn. That's all you got to worry about. You don't have to worry about anything else except making sure the popcorn pops and you fill the bag or flipping a burger. It's the most relaxing thing ever for me. when you don't have to worry about anything else, like being here, you got to see the big picture. But when you're helping or anywhere else, it's making sure that popcorn pops or the burger's flipped.
Yeah.
Has Chuck Deery given you the technique for proper popcorn?
Not officially. Have not been trained, so.
That is his superpower.
I
He'll
know.
have to share that with
He
you.
trained Al McCarnes at Madison a couple years ago, so Al still got the touch for it.
Awesome. Good stuff. Well, Austin, I am so excited to see you step into this role after everything that you have been doing. I applaud your intestinal fortitude to kind of be the duck and let any negativity roll off your back like water. Because I think anytime there's a new guy, people like to try to push to see what they can get away with, what they can try to flex on you. And I applaud you for handling everything the way you do. You're a pro, and it shows that you definitely grew up in this environment. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
And good luck for the rest of the season. Thank you so much for agreeing to join us on the Racing Nuggets podcast.
Not a problem. Anytime.